The Arena Games in one word: savage. To win this format of racing, you have to be on it. You cannot slip up.
It's hard, and I wish we had more than 3 minutes in between each race.
And if you do slip up, do not panic, which is easier said than done.
For this year's race, the field is a bit different. I'm really happy Sophie Coldwell is there as well, because she's of course a good swimmer. But with Beth Potter, running like amazingly hard, that's probably gonna play a big part in the race.
Beth Potter, having just won now in London, showing her cards to the world, definitely is going to be a tough one to beat.
Do I feel pressure? Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
We're racing once again in London, but Super League Triathlon. Beth Potter, obviously, with the background as a runner, has gone straight past Sophie Coldwell.
Winning in London was a bit of a shock, to be honest. I think I just resigned that Lucy, Georgia and Sophie were going to take the podium, so I was kind of in my head thinking, oh, fourth will be good here for me. So and then when I won that first stage, I was like, okay, wasn't the one I was expecting to win, but let's keep going. So that kind of got the ball rolling a bit for me. As weeks go, it's a pretty awesome week. Then I think backing up the week after with a world record, unofficial world record in the 5K, that's given me a bit more confidence as well, obviously. So I actually thought the timekeeper was reading the splits out in the wrong K markers. And I saw the clock and it said 14 something, and I was like, 14 something? What? Nah, this can't be right. I always said all along that I'm using Super League to get kind of race sharp, and that's exactly what this kind of racing does. So I think it's a really good opportunity to practice that, and then if the result comes, it comes. If it doesn't, then I'm just not good enough on the day. Who are the big rivals for me? I think there's, Sophie again, obviously.
I'm Sophie Coldwell, British triathlete. Came 6th at Commonwealth Games and finished 3rd in London Arena 3 weeks ago. The Arena Games was a bit of a shock, really. I mean, I'd watched the Rotterdam on telly from last year, but I obviously didn't race. Racing in London was great. I couldn't believe the transformation of the pool. Like, it just looked amazing, and even before we raced, I was just so excited to get going. Yeah, podiums are nice, but I definitely don't kind of get them and think, oh, yeah, this is fine, just keep plodding along. We've been doing a few specific things to build on from London to this weekend, but it's been more like tactical things or just like transitional things rather than like physiologically, because I'm not sure you can really change much in 3 weeks. Because we looked at some of the splits that came through, and on the whole, my swim, bike, run were up there, but my transitions, a few of them were, let me down a bit. So that's been something that we've been practicing on, and I've had all my hair cut off, so hopefully I can get my hat and goggles on quicker as well. So hopefully those small things will make a bit of a difference. Women's triathlon is incredible at the moment. Beth's a great runner, you don't go to Olympics for 10K for nothing, and she's going to be hard to beat. I think Maya Kingma as well, I've raced Maya for such a long time now. We kind of went through all the junior ranks together, and she's one tough athlete as well. I think Rachel would have built on her performance from London. She'll be, firing all cylinders. There's so many great athletes with so many aspects that are so different from each other, and I think that's what makes racing so great. And I think anyone who brings another dimension to the sport is just going to elevate the sport even further.
Nice even start. That's 4 laps of the pool here at the Swim Centrum. A nice start throughout for all of our women here in the start of the Arena Games in Rotterdam.
I never want to be a defeatist, but if I'm honest, coming into the race, it was kind of like, I just assumed Beth was going to kind of go off like she did in London.
Now I've got confirmation, Sophie Coldwell ran a 3:12.
It's a big run.
So that would have been a record run time for the women in Arena Games. Beth Potter, she just ran a 3:09 to start.
So the first stage, to be honest, I felt quite tired warming up, and I didn't feel amazing on the run, to be honest. But the swim, I was happy with my swim, and I felt strong on the bike. So I knew that, I just had to hold Sophie off in that bike, and I managed to do that. So that was strong for me. Yeah.
Here we go for stage 2. It's all about run, bike and swim this time around. False start there from Potter for a second, but you can see how quickly she gets the cadence up, the turnover. How many matches were burnt by Sophie Coldwell in that 3:12?
She knows Beth Potter is the faster runner. She's going to be much stronger in the swimming pool.
Yeah, if I'm honest, the run on the second stage was a bit of an odd one because I tried not to fixate on the avatar. I was just trying to focus on looking forward. And I'm a bit of a counter when I run, and then I would look down like every 20 or 30 strides, and I was like, this is a bit weird.
He's gone past her. How's that for a statement? Sophie Coldwell has just run past Beth Potter.
Yeah, Sophie's just looking like the T1000 running after the car in the Terminator, if anyone's old enough to remember that. She's just
gapping
strong, and she is.
Gapping Beth Potter in this run. What a run performance, which says a lot. Did Beth go all in to break that record, that 3:09, our Super League 1K record? It's starting to sting the legs now.
She does like to break a record.
Yeah, she is.
Beth Potter.
She's a record breaker.
She's a record breaker.
And I just assumed that Beth was sort of like holding a bit back, knowing that it was going to come all together on the bike anyway. So I still didn't really believe that I was running better than Beth even on that one.
Sophie's slowed down. Oh,
yeah, Sophie's dropped off 5 metres, but it looks pretty close between Potter. Maybe not 5 metres, but if anyone can make up that gap over 200, it's Sophie Coldwell, and it's a straight swim shootout over 4 laps for the 10 points.
She'll come off this turn. Big turn here.
Well, if she gets better, the more she swims, she should have just put in 5Ks before we started, because she has just hammered down that first 50 and she's already taken this by the scruff of the neck. There is Coldwell, who gets the win in stage 2. She'll go to 19 points and share the lead from Beth Potter, who finished 2.7 seconds back.
Obviously, I'm not as strong a swimmer as Sophie. Sophie's really good in the water. So to have her in my sights and not be that far behind, I thought that was quite positive.
Let's have a look back at where we stand at this point. Of course, Sophie Coldwell picks up the full 19. Beth Potter's got 19. Everything to play for.
I knew that I'd probably have Beth on the second one because it finished in the swim. And I knew going into it, I was like, well, Beth's obviously going to win the last one because it finished on a run. The fact that we finished again after the 2 rounds on points was really good, because I kind of thought, unless there's a disaster, I've got second in the bag. But even at that point, I still didn't think I was going to beat Beth, because I just thought, well, it's coming down to a run. And she put so much time into me in London, so I just the defeatist in me came out.
This is stage 3, bike, swim, run.
Yeah, on stage 3, I tried to go hard on the bike, because the thing is, I felt strong. I just maybe didn't have that top end stuff, and obviously that's where it was going to be won on things like the run at the end.
Definitely in my mind, I kind of saw that first bike as just a chance to kind of prepare for the swim and the run to come. So personally, I wouldn't have gone off the front, because you're not going to ride away from 9 girls that are just going to reel you back in. So yeah, just tried to be a bit savvy, save a bit of energy, and get ready for my arms to fall off in the swim.
And they are straight off and around the pool. A swim and a run to decide our Arena Games champion.
Potter 3 or 4 seconds quicker through transition than Sophie Coldwell, giving herself a lot of work to do, Soph. That's the shootout between the woman in white and the woman in pink to win the race. This transition for Sophie Coldwell is key. She needs to get that treadmill up to speed. She showed she's in good run form. She outran Beth in that last stage. This is the run for her life.
So in the final run in London 3 weeks ago, Potter ran 8 seconds quicker than Coldwell. And it looks as though Coldwell is a lot sharper this time around than she was then.
I was trying to break the K into 5 sections, and I thought, right, let's go second per section.
Beth Potter did this last time around. She came on second onto the treadmill, and Lucy Charles-Barclay was in front, and she left her for dead. But Sophie Coldwell looks like she is going to be a more difficult proposition.
I thought, 4.7 seconds is a nice buffer, so that I probably should hold on to second here, which is crazy, and probably even with 300 metres to go, I was still thinking, she could still reel in 6 seconds coming into 300 to go.
Sophie Coldwell is doing the job on Beth Potter that Beth Potter did to Lucy Charles-Barclay 21 days ago. It always serves up the absolute classics, the Arena Games.
Yeah, I knew that I couldn't close 5 seconds in less than 400 metres. I thought, yeah, this is not going to happen today. But I always go hard to the line anyway. I don't, always go hard to the line, never give up.
Unbelievable run by Sophie Coldwell.
Absolutely unbelievable run. 50 metres to go, and Sophie Coldwell is going to steal it from Beth Potter.
And
Sophie Coldwell is your champion.
Well done, Sophie.
He was just better than me on the day, to be honest. Just didn't have it. My legs didn't have it.
She has dug deep and she has won it.
That hurt.
I'd never go into a race thinking I can win, really. I think I just go into a race knowing that if I can deliver the controllables that I can control, then hopefully that will result in a good performance. But I think sometimes athletes get too up on positions and where they finish in a race, and sometimes that can overlook a good performance that you've had by yourself. And at the end of the day, you can only control what you can do. Like, you could go into a race and nail everything you wanted to nail. You can nail the swim, nail the bike, nail the run, nail transitions, just be like the best you could ever done. And you might still finish 10th, but that doesn't mean like you had a bad day. And equally, you could turn up the next week and have an absolute terrible swim, mess up transitions, and you come out and get a podium. But actually the best performance was the one where you finished 10th. And sometimes I think you just have to kind of take a step back and just focus on you and stick to what you know and be the best that you can be sometimes.